Wrap up with this issue, right, Honorable Speaker. Follow the law in doing that, because now you break and damage property. We have got to replace that. Money is taken, computers and so on. Why don't we follow the law? It would be different if you had come with a warrant and say, open, we want to search, and we refuse. There you can do whatever you want to do, but you didn't do that. I saw police actually justifying it, saying they went to pick some exhibits. I said, but now, which court of law are you going to use those exhibits in? Because no one was there to corroborate.
You were dragged, Right Honorable Speaker, into unfounded allegations. Unfounded allegations. And I believe the reason is to make government look dirty. This government has protected Ugandans, and that's why everybody is proud, including investors. Is it in order for the LOP all the time to come here to dirty government? Yes, that is the intention. In my presence as a leader of government, without evidence. Are you in order?
I encourage us to be here by 2. By 2, you were in your chair. The Prime Minister came very late. If you respect the issues of Parliament, please come early,
no, she
like the rest
come
of
late.
us.
She didn't come late.
Honorable Speaker, she was not here at 2.
She
That's the
didn't
truth.
Come late.
But let me wrap up with this issue,
late.
right, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
Order.
LOP, you sit. LOP, you sit.
Sechitoleko Yasin Machete, who is on hunger strike, Kavuma Musa, Gibsiwa Abdallah, Kalanzi Sharif, Muonge Joseph, Jimmy Galukande, Kato Umar, Abdallah Chintu, Mwase Patrick, Agaba Anthony, Angulibo Siraj, Andama Hafsa, Ida Kasim, and finally, Buga Ratib. These people were remanded by the court-martial, which no longer has authority over them. When are their files going to be transferred to the civilian courts like everybody else? Because their being on remand under the court-martial has got no place in the law.
This madness of parading our old parents, huh? Order to who? Cannot start parading all the people in the name of compensation. You bring all the people all the way from Teso. That can never happen, and it should never happen. And we are looking for the people who are doing that.
So from Teso came to our office. I don't know if you wanted us to chase them away, but they came and raised their concerns and said, please advocate for us as Teso war claimants for us to be paid. We received them.
Honorable Prime Minister, you smile for once for Jonah.
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, you know, I was somehow hurt when the LOP said I was yes, that I came late. When my deputy was here, you know, the Prime Minister you have is a busy Prime Minister. Very busy indeed doing government work. I know the LOP has got liberty. He has even time to parade, to politic. Right Honorable Speaker, let me now go to NDP 4. Right Honorable Speaker, NDP 4, we want to also refine what you put it, embed it in our plan, then the cabinet pass it. I request for 2 weeks.
It's okay, let's have it. Even the 2 weeks will pass. Yes, so long as we have a commitment from you. Honorable Kema, Mr. Kema, get for us the date of 2 weeks. So that we have it on record that the NDP 4 will be laid on such and such a date. Yes.
Madam Speaker and colleagues,
Maybe before you move your motion in the public gallery this afternoon, we have a delegation of district leaders from Kakumiro district. They are led by the district speaker, my colleague, the district speaker. You first stand up. That is my district speaker. The LOC 3 chairpersons, you stand up with LOC 3 chairpersons. The sub-county NRM team from 24 sub-counties of Kakumiro district. Where are you? You're welcome. And they are here, they're represented by none other than Majegere. By Honorable Nabbanja Robina, Honorable Biamukama Fred, Honorable Tracy Josephat, and Honorable Agaba Aisha. You are very good leaders. And who are you to have a prime minister? Meaning that you're very special people. You're very, very special people. You're most welcome. And thank you for sending us very good leaders. Most welcome. Join me in welcoming the Kakumiro people. Thank you. Yes.
Madam Speaker and colleagues, pursuant to Article 159 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda and Section 34 of the Public Finance Management Act of 2015 as amended, and Rule 155 of our Rules of Procedure, I beg to move a motion for a resolution of Parliament to approve the proposal for government to borrow up to United States
Madam
dollars
Disaster.
100 million.
Disaster. We have issues of disaster. You don't go. We have issues of disaster from a FIDRA, from Acrobat, and don't go, and from Linda.
Let me repeat. Right Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Article 159 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995, and Section 34
Yes.
of the Public Finance Management.
Madam Speaker, when we come here, we are national leaders. The point of privilege I am raising, my assignment supposed to go to every corner of the country. But I heard you, Madam Speaker, quarreling that the people of Teso cannot be paraded. The point of privilege I am raising is whether now Teso is caveated. NUP cannot meet them, PFF cannot meet them, even when they come by themselves. Because I have been in Teso on issues of compensation. The other was in Kakumiro. So point I am raising, Madam Speaker, is whether now you have reduced all of us into community, local government leaders, that we cannot meet people outside our communities.
Continue.
Right Honorable Speaker, in line with Article 159 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, Section 34 of the Public Finance Management Act, and Rule 155 of the Parliamentary Rules of Procedure, I beg to move a motion for a resolution of Parliament to approve the proposal for government to borrow up to US dollars 100 million from the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, Badea Private Window, United States dollars 50 million from the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, BADEA, public window, and US dollars 25 million from the OPEC Fund for International Development to capitalize Uganda Development Bank Limited, and also guarantee Uganda Development Bank Limited to borrow up to United States dollars 40 million from the Islamic Development Bank, US dollars 30 million from the Islamic Cooperation for the Development of Private Sector, and US dollars 30 million from the International Islamic Trade Finance Corporation. I beg to move, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, is the motion seconded? Seconded. Seconded by Honorable Bahati, the Prime Minister, Honorable Victoria, Honorable Alex, Honorable Wakoraj, Honorable James, Honorable Jane, Linda, Edie, Jessica, Disaster, Honorable Disaster, Honorable Nathan, Honorable Awaz, Honorable Fox Mamai, Honorable Betty, Honorable Phyllis, Honorable Angora, Honorable Acrobat, Honorable Amuran, thank you, Honorable Kwalinga, Honorable Lanyo. Would you want to speak to it?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, Uganda Development Bank Limited's funding needs have exponentially grown over the last 2 years, and the bank needs to disburse an average of Uganda shillings 1 trillion per year in new disbursements. The exponential growth in funding needs is due to growth of the economy, which is attributable to business expansion coupled with UDB's favorable terms and value proposition. UDB lends at not more than 12% per annum up to a period of 15 years, which makes it the only bank that can offer favorable and long-term tenor capital in the economy. UDB is desirous to drive growth of the private sector and significantly contribute to growth in private sector credit to GDP ratio by deploying capital to the real economic sector. Currently, UDB's share of the total private sector credit is 7% as at March 2024. UDB's role has increased, for example, 28.8% of the total credit to the manufacturing sector is provided by UDB. UDB continues to innovate products and services and provide solutions for all business, including SME, at large enterprise sector. But this is good information for you. Sometimes it's important to listen.
Madam Speaker, the procedural matter I'm raising pertains the irregular method by which the Honorable Minister has moved the motion for two separate loans which are not the same. The first one is about government borrowing to capitalize Uganda Development Bank.
Then guaranteeing.
Then the second one is guaranteeing the Uganda Development Bank to borrow, and it will be the bank to pay back interest, including all the other obligations. But the first one is different. The two are as far apart like night and day, Madam Speaker. And it would be irregular
that's why
on part of this House to allow the Minister to move both motions in an omnibus.
That's why.
And even the resolutions, Madam Speaker.
No, but that's why I asked.
One resolution. We shall be required to have two resolutions.
That's why I asked, are you moving as an omnibus?
In any case, I expected him to have given good counsel and guidance. He gave a wrong one. To move an omnibus, which is irregular. He knows it.
Oh,
How was the loan presented?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, of course, we are at the point of reporting. And this Parliament referred to us a request which was presented that way. Though, when it comes to recommendation, the report will recommend separately. But that's how the loan, the request
structured.
was presented to this Parliament. And dividing them at this point may actually also affect our report, because we have reported in line with, but the conclusion, the recommendation are different.
So do you agree that we will have two questions, two resolutions, one for borrowing and one for guaranteeing?
That's very right, because we also have two recommendations, one for borrowing and another one for guaranteeing.
Yes, Honorable Minister. But I think next time what you need to do is to divide, bring a separate request for borrowing and then a separate one for guarantee. It will be better. Even if it is going to the same institution, but it is neater.
Have we come to work, or we have just come to procedure? Why don't we work, my friend?
Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, I wanted to get your guidance. The manner in which we process business here is by items on the order paper, and the order paper is the preserve of the Speaker. And at this time I came because there were items listed on the order paper as item 4 and 5, which are separate. And I'm now getting worried when the minister is attempting now to navigate around that. That is your prerogative, Madam Speaker, that we process item by item. And that is what we have on the order paper.
Let's first look at the borrowing. Let's look at the borrowing.
Madam Speaker, the terms and conditions for the loan are the following. Loan terms for the US dollars 100 million from the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, Nabbanja private window. Facility is US dollars 100 million. Interest is fixed at 5.95% per annum. The loan tenor is 7 years. Grace period is 3 years. Commitment fees is 0.5% per annum on the undisbursed and cancelled balance of the facility. The legal fees is US dollars 25,000 up to signature of the agreement. Appraisal fees is 0.5% of the facility amount, and facility fee is 0.5% of the facility amount. Loan terms for US dollars 50 million from the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, Nabbanja public window. Facility amount is US dollars 50 million. The tenure is 20 years. Grace period is 5 years. Interest is 3% per annum fixed. 3 loan term for the US dollars 25 million from the OPEC Fund for International Development. Facility amount US dollars 25 million. Interest 2.25% per annum. Grace period 2 years. Tenure is 10 years. Commitment fees 0.5% per annum on the unwithdrawn amount of the loan. Front-end fees 0.25% of the loan payable within 90 days from the date of effectiveness. The loan terms for the amounts to be borrowed directly by UDB and guaranteed by Government of Uganda. One is 40 million from the Islamic Development Bank. Loan facility amount is 40 million US dollars. Interest is US dollars 10-year mid swap plus 2.80%. Grace period 2 years. Tenure is 10 years. Loan terms for USD 30 million from the Islamic Corporation for Development of the Private Sector. Facility amount is 30 million US dollars. Interest is floating 6M SOFR plus 2.8%. Grace period is 1 year. Tenure is 7 years. 3 loan terms for the US dollars 30 million from the International Islamic Trade Finance Corporation. Facility amount 30 million US dollars. Interest is term SOFR plus 2.5%. Grace period is not applicable here. The tenure is 1 year revolving. Honorable colleagues, the detailed conditions for the loan are reflected in the main report as the chair will also present. Madam Speaker and colleagues, I now request Parliament the following. 1, to note that the effort government has put in place to support the private sector development, and 2, approve the request in line with Article 159 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, and yes, Madam Speaker, with this I beg to move.
Thank you. Honorable Ministers, person in charge, UDB, what is our loan portfolio with UDB?
Madam Speaker, the portfolio under UDB is in excess of 1.4 trillion now.
How is our recovery rate? What is the percentage recovery rate?
I need to get information about the recovery rate, Madam Speaker.
I need to get the portfolio, the recovery rate. I want a schedule. It's not for the house. I need a schedule of borrowers, and so that we make analysis whether we are doing a good business. I'm speaking from the banking sector. Yes.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, before I read the report of the Committee on National Economy on the proposal to borrow up to US dollars 100 million from the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, BADEA, private window, US dollars 50 million from the Arab Bank for Economic Development, Africa, BADEA, private window, and US dollars 25 million from OPEC Fund for International Development, OFID, to capitalize the Uganda Development Bank Limited, and guarantee Uganda Development Bank Limited to directly borrow up to US dollars 40 million from from Islamic Development Bank. Let me begin it afresh. And to guarantee Uganda Development Bank Limited to direct the borrow up to US dollars 40 million.
Madam Speaker, is it in order for my good friend, the Honorable Ikojo, to continue to defy your directions on separating the two loans?
Honorable Ikojo.
And he has virtually no report to furnish this house with.
Honorable
Moreover,
members,
the approvals will be done separately for the two loans.
we are going to do approval separately, but honorable members, you are the same people who accepted this report when it was laid on table. You should have said that let's have it separately. It was brought like that, and maybe it was an oversight that you just agreed like that. I wasn't in the house. Maybe we're all not there, but so let's have phase one first of borrowing.
Madam Speaker.
Right Honorable Speaker, there is one issue I would like to bring to your attention, and we request you to direct and be assertive. This report, the version uploaded, is not accessible by members of parliament. It's encrypted, and it's not the first time this is happening. The IT, the people in charge, upload documents that cannot be opened. It's encrypted. And this is a very serious matter that MPs need to read through. By our rules, this report should not even proceed, that the chairperson is laying and reading the report at the same time, and members of parliament are expected to make decisions.
What is IT people? What is happening?
It was put 5 hours ago, and this is not the first time I'm observing this. They usually encrypt it. You cannot open it on the iPad. You'll see the item, you open it, you cannot access it. Once we are seated here, they now display for members of parliament to read through as if we are in a nursery school.
So what was the use of giving us the iPads?
Yes, that must cease, because we can actually, if the house is serious, this report can be stayed for 3 days to allow members of parliament. Borrowing is committing this government, committing Ugandans present, in the past, in the present, and in the future. So we should be in the know details. The minister is now telling us.
Can anybody access that document on the iPad? Yes, Leviton.
Yes, Right Honourable Speaker. If he's referring to the report from the committee, both the one from the main committee and also the minority report, I've been reading. It is there.
Madam Speaker, my point is, and you are the custodian of the rules, these reports are not supposed to be uploaded, and when we are here, we must access it well in advance. And this has been happening with so many even bills.
Okay,
and
it shall not happen again. It will not happen again. Do you even read, even if I give you time? Stop that thing of saying we should be given time. If Oduru said, I would really accept it because you will read it. You go ahead.
Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I seek for your indulgence that you allow me read the report the way the committee has prepared it, since the report was referred to the committee in that manner. But in the resolution, we shall separate the borrowing from the guarantee. Right Honourable Speaker.
You read on the borrowing first, and we first pass that.
Right
Either
Honourable
reject
Speaker,
or pass.
Most obliged, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development has already made a presentation, has already summarized the borrowing that was referred to the Committee on National Economy. Right Honorable Speaker, you remember that on the 5th of February, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development presented a loan request to this House for a proposal for government to borrow for recapitalization of UDB. The Committee on National Economy scrutinized the request in line with Article 159 of the Constitution, Section 36 of the Public Finance Management Act, PMFA 2015, as amended, and Rule 155 and 178 of the Rules of Procedure, and now I beg to report. Right Honorable Speaker, the Committee on National Economy interacted with the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, and Uganda Development Bank Limited. The committee also reviewed the documents, and the committee further studied and made reference to the following documents: the Minister's brief to Parliament on the loan, the draft financing agreement between Uganda Development Bank and OPEC, and the master installment sales agreement between UDB and Islamic Development Bank. Right Honorable Speaker, the number of documents that were presented to the committee, and the committee looked at all those documents. The Minister gave the background to UDB, and in line with our Rules of Procedure, Rule number 155 of the Rules of Procedure, the committee